Okay, good morning, back on the farm again this week. Before I start though, if you haven't hit like, subscribe and found the hype button, because I can't find it, but apparently there's a hype button somewhere, hit that one every Sunday morning, 8:30. So, on the farm, thank you to Papa G for obviously bailing us out and getting these buildings up down the bottom. Finchy is now concreting and working his way through. Lee Woods has been and done the netting and railing. We've roofed the one. We're pretty much ready to roof the other one. We'll come back to them sheds down there, the concreting works, probably not next week, maybe the week after, because next week we're in the workshop. We've got a big week in the workshop. This week, however, I'm going to reveal my beautiful infill. And here it is. Not quite finished yet, but nearly there. But I think we all need to take a moment to appreciate my genius idea that has never been thought of before about putting a head yoke in a feed barrier. If anyone like IE or Bateman say anything, it's bullshit. I come up with this idea. So, this is where we were having all of the hospital pens down this side of the building. Now, at the moment, we're just sorting cattle out. So we've brought a ruck of them into there while we're sorting stuff out of which is going which side. And that was always going to be just loose housing. So we've had them in for just over a week now, I think, on this side. These we've just fetched in, or Mark and Ryan have fetched in yesterday. And now we've got to sort through these and put them in their respective groups. But already we've got one poorly calf, so mum and calf have come into the first sick pen that's being used here. The rest of it for the minute I think we're just going to keep loose, but we have got the ability to obviously separate that into singular 15 foot wide by nearly 20 foot deep sick pens. Show you my head yoke. I just need my beautiful assistant. Ryan? Okay, so one of the reasons I wanted a head yoke in the barrier was if we're single working at night or anything like that, and we have got a handful of naughty cows or even nice cows that we didn't realise were going to be naughty until they've had the calf. I don't really like the fact that we've got them behind a gate. We've had a couple turn on us and chase us out the pen. I don't like it. It's a recipe for disaster. There's going to be an accident happen at some point. So what my thought process was, rather than moving the crush from pen to build into different places here, there and everywhere, we put these head yokes in. So you can either leave it in its lock position effectively, which will then stop the cow getting its head in there and getting its head stuck. Or if you are on your own, we've made a little gate that hangs on here, on this side, into the pen. You can bring the cow round behind the gate and you set the yoke, cow puts its head through. As the cow, in fact, let me get my beautiful assistant. I'm just going to get naughty cow. In, locked in, and now, if I just want to have a quick look, there's nothing there. I can just let the cow out, it'll be fine. But if not, we can keep it in there and obviously deal with the cow, or like the age-old problem that we have been having with the cows that won't necessarily mother or kick the calf off when it's trying to drink. Now we've got the cow there, we've got the gate as well, so we've got the option to be able to lock the cow in with some corn while not tying the crush up then, while the calf is then drinking the milk. So that therefore has got one of these in each sick pen as we work our way down the building. At the very end though, there's something a little bit, well, same but different. So in the end of the building, we've got a slightly bigger sick pen in this last bay on this side. And again, I've done the same thing again, but this time we've put a fixed post in and gate. So the gate sits high, so again, the calf can go underneath. But when we're bringing the cow in, obviously a bit concerned that the cow's head will go under. So we've got a board, a palatine board that we're going to hang off that just to take the vision away. So the cow comes in, obviously through in there and locked in. Then the calf can come underneath. So that's a particularly sort of bigger sick pen there. So if there is 2 or 3 cows that are not, or they're kicking the calves off and they're not letting the calves drink, then that is going to be the holding pen really for them. And then if we do have any more, we've obviously got this side. We've done the same thing again, but to a degree as well. If we're sorting, handling, jabbing stuff, dehorning or clipping the backs out, whatever it may be, we've got exactly the same option here. They weren't ridiculously expensive either. I think they were about 170-ish pounds plus the VAT each. Okay, there might be 8 of them in here, so it does add up a little bit, but at the end of the day, it's going to, in the long run, it's going to save a mountain of time because we're not moving the crush around, and ultimately, if we're using the crush for a cow that won't let her calf drink, you can only do one at a time. So that drives you bonkers slowly, and moving it around the farm, and obviously we want the crush in a fixed position, and then we might end up with another crush just for knocking about the other sheds if there is any problems. But this now really is our shed for anything problematic in terms of the sick pens, and then obviously anything that's due to calf we can put in this side as well and just bring it over, because each one of these barriers swings round, and obviously we can just cross from one side to the other. So this, as a handling shed goes, it's going to be fantastic. So as always, we've still got little bits and bobs to finish off. The water pipes need clipping up properly and lagging, but ultimately we had to get the rest of the cows in. We've still got a handful out at the minute, so we are desperate for them now because we want to start moving the calves and cows down into one of them to free up that shed to bring in the other stuff. So yeah, hopefully, it's been cold this last few days. It is warming up again next week. Just hopefully it stays dry, and then we can get that done and bring them in. Other news on the farm, the Silo King tear-up thing, that has ended up costing a little bit more than probably I hoped. We knew it needed a belt, we knew it needed, well, in fact I didn't know it needed a screen at the time when I bought it, but it needed the computer screen thing. So we've had to buy one of them. And then as it turns out, all the bolts on the blades and inside the gubbins had all sheared off. So Chris Allen's had to drop in there, replace all of that and done. It is now up and operational. I haven't had the final bill, so I can't tell you exactly how much that has cost in the end. What I can tell you is it's still way less than the 8 or 10 grand that I could find anything else for. Anyway, that's it for On the Farm this week. If you like what you've seen, hit subscribe, ring the bell, try and find that damn hype button that I can't find. I'll catch you next week after a On the Farm montage.